Hey everyone, this is GTA 6 Empire. Today, I'm going to present you this complete analysis on the real-life locations of GTA 6. Stay until the end because this might surprise you. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed the content. Let's go!
Among all the remarkable images we saw in the GTA 6 trailer, the one that stood out most for its vivid color was the bridges in the Leonida Keys. The Keys is the name given to this enormous chain of islands stretching south of Florida, through which a massive highway runs all the way to the very end, a small city called Key West. The image we see in the trailer shows us the highway that crosses these islands and another mysterious bridge that appears to be under construction. And as I already mentioned in the analysis, it could be used as an acrobatic jump. It's amazing how much we'd learn if we traveled to this place in real life. Moving slowly towards the city of Miami from the Keys, we'll eventually find ourselves practically in the same place, also with this same bridge under construction. Although in real life it's known as the Bahia Honda Railroad Bridge, and far from being under construction, it turns out to be the ruins of an old bridge from the early 20th century that was used for decades, but eventually fell into disrepair. And today, we'll analyze the absolute craziness about the GTA 6 map we saw in the first trailer. It's completely impossible to count the almost infinite amount of analyses that have come out of this trailer. But the more I watch it, the more I regret not making a second part or something similar. There are too many details I overlooked or didn't quite understand, so I thought it might be a good idea to address this information in the most structured way possible. Later, we'll continue with something that really bothered me in the trailer regarding the map, which might cause problems. And we'll finish with a huge controversy that's been on the table since GTA 5 and could extend to GTA 6. But for now, we must move on to another key location that hasn't gotten much attention. I'm referring to the huge Vice sign that many seem to have overlooked because it doesn't reveal much game info. The little scene behind isn't detailed, and the letters don't seem to add much, since we already know we're in Vice City, right? I spent almost a day looking for this sign in real life to share that information with you. Because if they've shown it, and it's so close to the airport as we see in the image, that means it's a well-known place, doesn't it? Different movies by various directors even feature it, always referencing the nearby airport. Where the hell is it supposed to be? I just had to investigate a bit more to find out this sign never existed. They built and dismantled it exclusively to film those scenes in movies, and it really caught my attention that they ended up adding it to GTA 6. It definitely deserves it, because being recognized as an iconic part of a city without even existing is quite an achievement. I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about the airport, which you might not think so, but in this game it's going to be a little more important than most have ever been in this series. If our interpretation of this image is correct, and Rockstar has maintained that level of realism, Vice City International Airport is inland, separated from the sea by the city itself. Unlike the last two games in the series, where the airport was almost like a peripheral and empty place, of course, very close to the sea. In this case, the airport could be surrounded by roads on all sides, making it easily accessible, something similar to Sandy Shores Airfield or Las Venturas Airport, but on a much larger scale. Everything related to the details of this shot has already been discussed, even the sporadic mention of Catalonia on the highway sign. But researching the real-life location of this place, I've come to realize I must correct my words from the trailer analysis. This building with a huge hole does exist, but to many's disappointment, it's not a complete hole. There's a kind of window that prevents this tunnel from being fully completed. If we look at the trailer, it really seems to be a hole in GTA 6, because what's behind it must be clouds in the sky. They've surely opened it because it obviously allows for much more gameplay with plane stunts. If we look closely at the sequence, the protagonists drive along a highway towards this building, which also means they're entering the city's continental zone. This illuminated building on the left is a modified version of a science museum that's right next to the highway. I much prefer how they've lit it in the game. The shot of one of the islands we must pass through to cross the city has given us much to talk about. Both times I've discussed this section, I've said it seemed like a mix of the many islands in the bay. Now we know it's Vizcaína Island to be exact. In fact, I've been deservedly silenced, realizing most buildings in this trailer's area aren't made up. The apartment building on the left exists, the parking lot too. The toll booth is exactly like in real life, the small building next to it also, and even the building that appears further back. The biggest difference, obviously, is the size. Not only is this island chain much longer in real life, and the horizon is the same. The two twin towers on the left are actually a bit further left than they appear in the game. A quick fun fact before we finish. This checkpoint doesn't really look like a toll booth in real life, as there are signs clearly instructing you not to stop your vehicle. Another place, or rather, the game's territory that I'm very happy to have seen in the trailer, are the swamps. I suppose most of you know this, but Florida isn't just completely flat, it's also entirely made up of swamps. That's why so many alligators appear in the trailer, just roaming freely through civilization. These swamps are extremely similar to the ones we can see in Red Dead Redemption 2. In fact, a long time ago I mentioned we'd definitely see something very similar to this in GTA 6. In this case, perhaps less dark due to the large open spaces which also contain swamps and with many more animals, even though Red Dead Redemption 2 seems unbeatable in that aspect. Taking real life as a reference, it's more than likely that an exaggerated percentage of the map's nature is simply this: pure swamp and nothing else. And this reminds me of something that's very important to discuss, but given all you've seen in this video, you should subscribe to the channel and leave. Drop a like so I can keep turning a 1.5-minute trailer into 743 different videos. Of everything shown in the game's trailer, which I clearly loved, there was one thing that after the initial excitement and watching it dozens of times, I couldn't stop thinking about. In the entire trailer, they only showed us one enormous city. And also plenty of nature and vast rural areas, like small towns. But of all the major cities in Florida, seriously, have they only added Miami? They could be saving tons of content for future trailers. After all, this is simply trailer 1. But that doesn't stop me from having some concern that the GTA 6 map will be a kind of GTA 5 too, with only one large city on one side and a handful of smaller towns scattered across the map. Simply, it's a concern I have and wanted to share with all of you, but honestly, I had expectations for at least a couple of good cities, even if one of them was like half of Los Santos from GTA 5. I don't know, it scares me to think things will be like they've been for the last 10 years. Call me naive, but I honestly expected a new city or something in the map's north, even an inland one like Orlando. Honestly, I still have some hope that with time we'll see more, but it's literally just that, hope. GTA 5 was criticized for years for having what many called an empty map, because, let's be honest, much of it was just mountains with nothing interesting, not even forests. This sparked debate. Was a map 3 times smaller but denser like GTA 4's truly better than GTA 5's large, spacious, but supposedly empty one? I don't want to scare anyone, but from what we've seen in the game's trailer, the rural and swampy areas seem to stretch as far as the eye can see. In fact, you've already seen the image of Florida and how much swamp it has. I think it's very clear that GTA 6 could feature vast, natural, uncivilized areas. Many of us won't mind, knowing it'll have animals, maybe hidden mysteries and curiosities. But for others, it could cause historic outrage and 7 seasons of videos claiming GTA 4 is better. In GTA 5, the large spaces were much emptier than planned as the game had to run on old consoles like PlayStation 3, and many forests were removed. But I don't think we're facing this situation with PlayStation 5, even though this console generation might soon start to become obsolete. With all this, I mean, it's very likely the main debate on GTA 6's quality will stop being about if this girl is Lucia or not, to slowly shift to whether the map is empty or not. But it certainly won't be as empty as an Assassin's Creed RPG map. Do you think if GTA 6 has a huge map, it'll be a problem? Or do you trust Rockstar to get it right? And we'll have plenty of interesting things to see. Don't hesitate to give me your opinion and thoughts. If you noticed something, maybe I missed it. Thanks for watching the video until the end. If you stayed until here, don't forget to leave your like and subscribe for more content and help me grow the channel. See you very soon for the next video. This was GTA 6 Empire.